A very good morning to all of you. I am ANSHUL Sharma, your biology teacher, and in this video tutorial we are going to discuss the classification of kingdom Plantae. As you know, R.H. Whitaker divided the entire living organism or all living organism into 5 kingdom, and out of those 5 kingdom, one of the kingdom is kingdom Plantae, and I have written the kingdom Plantae in green color, and the reason is very clear because all the member of this kingdom are able to perform photosynthesis. You know, the photosynthesis is a process by which the plants can synthesize their own food. That means they are not dependent on others for their nutrition, and that is why the member of kingdom Plantae, they all are autotrophs. That means they acquire their nourishment by their own self, and to perform this photosynthesis they have a pigment that is called chlorophyll, and due to the presence of this chlorophyll they are of green color, and that is why I am using the green color for writing the characters of this kingdom. Instead of chlorophyll they can also have some other pigments. We will discuss about those pigments later in the chapter. The all members of kingdom Plantae have the cell wall. That means the cells of the member of kingdom Plantae are surrounded outside by a cell wall, and this cell wall is always made up of cellulose. You know, cell wall is present in bacteria also, cell wall is present in fungi also, and cell wall is present in Plantae also, but the composition of cell wall is different. In Plantae it is made up of cellulose, in fungi it is made up of chitin, and in the case of bacteria it is made up of peptidoglycan. So these are the some of the general features of kingdom Plantae. In this video we are going to discuss the classification of kingdom Plantae, and firstly we will discuss a artificial classification system, and then we will discuss a phylogenetic classification system. You know, the artificial classification system is based on the morphological features. So artificial classification system हम यहाँ पे सिर्फ एज ए एग्जाम्पल डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. So the kingdom Plantae on the basis of morphological features like habitat and etc. is divided, and because we are using the morphological features, so that is why it is the artificial system of classification. The all members of kingdom Plantae can be divided into 2 groups. The one is aquatic plants and the other one is the land plants, or you can say the terrestrial plants. So here you can see we are dividing the member of kingdom Plantae into 2 groups on the basis of habitat, and habitat is a morphological feature, or you can say it is a superficial feature. So it is a artificial classification system. And these aquatic plants basically include the algae, and algae are further of 3 types. They could be red algae, they include brown algae, and they include green algae. We will discuss about these different algae later in this chapter. So firstly, the kingdom Plantae is divided into 2 groups depending upon the habitat. The one is group is of aquatic plant and one group is land plants. Now the land plants are further divided into 2 groups depending upon the presence and absence of vascular tissues, that is a xylem and phloem. That means the land plants are divided into 2 groups. One group that lack the vascular bundle, and the another group that have the vascular bundle. So depending upon the presence and absence of vascular bundle, the one group of the land plant that lack the vascular bundle, that include the Bryophyta, and Bryophyta further include the liver rot and the mosses. And the second group of the land plant that have the vascular bundle can be further divided into 2 groups depending upon their reproduction. That means whether they are reproducing with the help of spores or if they are reproducing with the help of seeds. So the group of land plants that have the vascular bundle and reproduce with the help of spores, they include Pteridophytes, or you can say the Pteridophyta, and in Pteridophyta we include the ferns. And the another group of land plants that have the vascular bundle and reproduce with the help of seed is known as Spermatophyta. Sperma means seed and phyta means plant, that means the seed producing plants. Now Spermatophyta is further divided into 2 groups depending upon the whether the seeds are covered or whether the seeds are naked. If the seeds are naked, they are included in gymnopterid sperms. Gymno means naked and sperma means seed, and if the seeds are developing inside the fruit, that means the seeds are covered, so that include in angiosperm. Angio means covered and sperma means seeds. So this is how the artificially the plant kingdom can be classified. Firstly, we classify the plant kingdom into two groups depending upon the habitat, the aquatic plant and the land plant. Aquatic plant include algae. Then land plant can further grouped into two categories, into two groups depending upon the presence and absence of vascular bundle. That is the bryophyta that are lacking the vascular bundle, and the other group that have the vascular bundle. Now the land plant with vascular bundle can be further grouped into two groups. The land plant with vascular bundle producing spores, they are pteridophytes, and the land plant having vascular bundle and producing seed, they are the spermatophyta. And then spermatophyta further divided into two groups, whether the seeds are covered or uncovered. Now we are going to discuss a classifications of kingdom Plantae, that was phylogenetic classification system. That means it is based on the evolutionary relationship, and this classification system was given by the EICHLER. This classification system of kingdom Plantae was proposed by EICHLERs, and this classification is based on the flowering of the plant. That means the plants are grouped into two categories depending upon the flowering, whether the flowering is happening and whether the flowering is not happening. You know, inside the flower there is a structure that is called ovary, and inside the ovary the ovules develop, and these ovules converts into the seed. So obviously if a plant have flowers, so that plant will also bears the seed, and if the plant don't have flowers, so that plant will not bear the seeds. So the plant kingdom according to the EICHLER, depending upon the flowering, divided into two groups, or you can say two sub-kingdoms. The first is cryptogams and the second is phanerogams. The cryptogams include non-flowering plants that are seedless, because there is no flower, so there is no seed. And the phanerogams include those plants that are flowering plants, and because they are having the flower, so they have the seeds also. So the kingdom plant is divided into two sub-kingdom, cryptogam and phanerogam. Now the subkingdom cryptogam is further divided into three subdivisions depending upon the type of body. The meaning of type of body, that means whether the body is not differentiated, it is just a clump of cells, that means thallus like body is there. Whether the body is having the differentiated part, but the parts are not completely differentiated and lacking the vascular bundle, and if the body is having the well differentiated part. Depending upon this criteria, the cryptogams are further divided into, the subkingdom cryptogam is further divided into three divisions. The first is, so as you know, the cryptogams are further divided into three divisions depending upon the organization of the body. So first division is thallophyta. Thallo word is coming from thallus and phyta means plant. That means the non-flowering seedless plant that have the undifferentiated body, or you can say the thallus like plant body. That means इनकी plant body के अंदर आपको leaf, stem, root ऐसी कोई structure दिखाई नहीं देगी. They are just an aggregation of the cells. So that kind of body is there. So the plant will be included under thallophyta. Then the next group is bryophyta. The next group is bryophyta. The bryophyta include those plants, however their body is differentiated, but they don't have the true structures. That means they have the root-like structures, they have the rhizomes, they have the stem-like structure, but not the true stem, and vascular tissues are absent. So the second division is bryophyta, that include the non-flowering seedless plant that have root-like structure, stem-like structure, and they lack the vascular bundle. Now the next group is the Pteridophyta. Next group is the Pteridophyta. The Pteridophyta is the division of cryptogam that have the plants with well differentiated root, well differentiated stem, and they are also called vascular cryptogams because this is the only division of subkingdom cryptogamy that include the plants that have the vascular bundle. So you can easily comparatively study these three divisions. The Thallophyta have the non-flowering seedless plant that don't have differentiated body. The bryophytes have the non-flowering seedless plant that have the differentiated body but not true roots, not true stem, and no vascular bundle is there. Root-like structure, stem-like structure may be there. Now the last division is the Pteridophyta. They have the well-differentiated plant body with well-differentiated root and stem, and they also have the vascular bundle. That is why they are called vascular cryptogam. Now come to the second subkingdom, that is the Phanerogam, that include the flowering and seed bearing plant. Now this subkingdom is divided into two division depending upon the type of seed they are having. If the seeds are naked, so those plants are included under the division Gymnosperms, and if the seeds are covered, they are covered inside the fruit, inside the ovary, so they are included under division Angiosperms. Now the division Angiosperm can further divided into two classes. The first is these are the classes, and the first class is the monocot and the second is the dicot, depending upon the number of cotyledon present inside the seed in the embryo. If the seed have only one cotyledon, so that seed bearing covered seed plant will be included under monocot, and if the cotyledon number is 2, they will be included under dicot. There are some other differences are there also in the monocot and dicot. So the member of class monocotyledony and member of class dicotyledony can be differentiated by like this. The member of monocotyledony have single cotyledon in their embryo, and the member of dicotyledony have the two cotyledon in their embryo. The member of monocot always have the fibrous root. So fibrous root is like this. This is the stem, this is the surface of soil, and many roots are arising from here. Not primary root single or secondary roots are there. So that kind of root system is called fibrous root. And the member of dicot have the tap root system. That means from the base of the stem a primary root arise, from primary root secondary roots arise, and from secondary roots tertiary roots arise, and then tertiary roots से आपके आगे आके root hairs arise होते हैं. So that is called tap root system. So in monocot the fibrous roots are there, in dicot the tap root is there. In the case of monocotyledony, the parallel लीफ वेनिशन इज देयर. अगर कोई पत्ती इस तरीके से है एंड उसमें वेन्स जो है इस तरीके से पैरेलली प्रेजेंट है, जैसा आप गन्ने के ऊपर देखते हो या मक्का के ऊपर देखते हो, सो दैट काइंड ऑफ वेनिशन इज कॉल्ड द पैरेलल लीफ वेनिशन. इन द केस ऑफ डाइकॉट द लीफ वेनिशन इज रेटिकुलेट. दैट मीन्स जो जनरल पत्ती आप हमेशा से बनाते आए हो, दिस इज द लीफ लैमिना, दिस इज द मिड रिप, एंड द वेन्स आर रेटिकुलेटिंग फ्रॉम द मिड रिप. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ रेटिकुलेट वेनिशन. सो दीज आर द सम ऑफ द डिफरेंसेज बाय विच यू कैन easily differentiate between the monocot and dicot.